think I'm moving. I do not have a, okay, it says you're live. Wow. Hello, everybody. First time YouTube live. So I'm checking things out. Definitely in the mood. It's what? 11:36 Eastern time. And I am in the mood to share with you some read along and Bravely Miseducated. Also Q&A if you have any questions, but first make sure you please subscribe. Click on the button to this YouTube channel, along with, if you're not a subscriber already, MisEducated.com. A lot of different information in there. If you want to check out more, there's also in the info on this particular video how you can connect with us through various social media sites. And let's just talk. Let's just get to know one another. You can find out a lot of information on those different outlets. And of course, stay tuned here. You can check it out as well. We are going to give a quick chat about the book and the intro. I wanted to share first on YouTube Live because I love to try these things out. I have no clue how these things work. So, hey, let's try it out, right? So, Bravely Miseducated, How I Lost My Voice. Many people are like, what does that mean? Bravely Miseducated talks about how you have the courage to speak on different things throughout your life, particularly in this case, your childhood, of how you were taught wrong, but it was unintentionally taught wrong. You was taught the way your parents knew how to raise you. And this book sheds a lot of light on it. And in particular, it's about a young girl and how she was raised in an inner city set in Chicago, Illinois, and the different things that she had to face and learn how to overcome them. And due to a lot of the different things that occurred with this young girl is why she decided to join the U.S. Army. And some of you that know me may think that this is a little similar to my life because I am born and raised in Chicago, Illinois, and I have also joined the military, the U.S. Army. So it is a lot of reflections of my life, but ultimately the story is more of a message for everyone. And this message is just a lot of cultural diversity that we have within the country, of course, in the world. But, ultimately, we want to take care of our home first, right? So it talks a lot about that. And tonight on this video, I'm going to read the intro to the book, which you can also find if you're not already on Amazon. Have an Amazon shopper. You can also find it here, but I'm going to start the read along, and today is the first day. And again, my first time on YouTube, so I'm kind of all over the place trying to figure things out, okay? So let's go ahead, and this is the Root Edition. So the Root Edition, also how this came about, it talks a lot about why you may be the way you are as an adult, right? And to reflect back on it, it's not to have regrets. It's to do a few things. Definitely show growth in how you are today, but also just recognize things that you may have never really faced and never really accepted and forgave and moved forward. And that also help you understand why you may be going through certain things today. So it's a lot going on, but we're going to go ahead. We're going to try to put these together, okay? So the first page, I'm going to hit on another because the first page in here, it's just several different quotes that I have of my own that I talk about, and some you may not understand. Many you should, or you may, but I'm going to shed some insight on that as well on another video. we're just going to go right into the intro. The photograph on the cover of this book, see that? Represents the reality of disadvantaged and unrepresented girls who are struggling to find their purpose. The image illustrates the vulnerability in young girls who is coming in age in a world called life. It's important that you actually see the cover. She's sitting on the school's ground, ashamed, torn, and broken. She's confused, betrayed. She's an outcast. She's stuck between the brick walls of life with her head down in pain. She doesn't know who to talk to, so she talks to herself, asking for help, questioning her existence, her belonging, while hoping someone can hear her cries and come and save her. She's looking at her no-label t-shirt and shoes while sitting alongside her red backpack, and she's wondering, why me? Why Betty? She hates her hair. She is tired of being teased by the girls with the long, soft, beautiful hair. She struggles with her hair every morning because it's too short and nappy to brush into a beautiful, soft ponytail. She applies gel on it, but the hair hardens. So she takes off the dress from her baby doll, rolls it up, and makes a headband to keep her hair in place. As she feels the tears roll out her eyes and fall into her no-label pants, she could hear the Malcolm X speech replay in her head from the other night when she was watching television. Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to, so much so that you don't want to be around each other? My race doesn't want to be around me. They say they hate my hair texture because it appears to be unkempt. They say I needed to add a relaxer or horsehair to hide my texture. How can I afford a relaxer or hair extensions if I can't afford clothes with labels or designer shoes? They say in order to survive in the world, you have to follow the world and its trends. How is any of this possible? Why is any of this important? Not done with the intro, but I wanted to touch a little bit on it just in case I lost anyone. As you know, I started the intro to give you more insight of how this book cover came about, right? And so talking about this, if you notice on the book cover, of course, you see a young girl. In case you didn't recognize it, after you have read a part of the intro, you'll notice that she's at school and you'll see the bricks behind it. So also noticing her red backpack that was mentioned, and the no labels that she has on her pants, shoes, and a shirt, and also the dress from the baby doll that you notice that's tied up on her hair to keep her ponytail intact. So that's pretty much the overview of what that first paragraph or page, shall I say, captured. But also being captured is why she has her head down. And she has her head down, unfortunately, because she has been teased quite a bit due to the appearance of what you see. And during this time, she reflects back of what she heard previously, which was a Malcolm X speech that she heard when she was watching TV. And it touches a lot on the speech that he had, where he talks to Black women, asking Black women, who taught you to hate yourself? And that's one of the popular speech that most people know if they know Malcolm X. I'm kind of moving around, right? I tend to kind of use my hands like many people do, but probably not as much because it's weird because I'm sitting and I don't do too much sitting per se when I'm talking, depending on what it is. So it's kind of awkward, but I'm sure I'll get used to it. And so with this, if you remember the speech that Malcolm X have spoken about Black women, I mean, it's powerful, just the title itself. Who taught you to hate yourself? And using the different examples of what we had just talked about, as far as the young girl and how she feels, it captures a lot of, for one, it shows how much over several decades from when this speech was out to now, how many young girls today, regardless of the race, and many young people in general, feel this way. But particularly because this is more about a young brown girl, I would say, it's more towards the speech of what Malcolm X was referring to. And it was, who taught you to hate yourself? What is it? Who was the one that said that you wasn't good enough for what God created you as? Who determined that they was over God to say, hey, you're not good enough to look like this, and now you have to feel that way? And that's a similar quote that is also discussed on the first page of this book. So I wanted to hit on that. And then, of course, right after I read an excerpt of that speech is when Betty, the character, pretty much kind of talks to herself and explains who done that. And unfortunately, she hits more on saying her own race is who don't accept her for who she is. And she struggles with that because she sees it as, if these people have the same tone of skin I do and similar texture as I do, why is it that they don't like me? This is who don't like me. So this is why I feel this way. And it goes on to say a lot of what I just discussed. Several decades later, young girls around the world are still asking these same questions. Betty doesn't know how it's possible to become what everyone wants her to be. She doesn't understand why she has to work so hard to be embraced by her own society. So many unanswered questions run through her head daily. She feels lost. It feels uncomfortable for her to join groups that belittles other people or requires her to have a specific appearance in order to be accepted. And she's tired of feeling the way she does. She's afraid. She doesn't know exactly what she is afraid of, but she knows she's unhappy. She thought being born a brown skinned young woman was a gift from God. She wishes someone would stop walking, sit beside her, and ask her what they could do to help her smile inside. She feels too ashamed to look up and ask someone to hug her and accept her for who she is because she can hear people laughing at her as they walk past. She doesn't want to intentionally make a fool out of herself. As she continues to sit in her pain, she remembers a few of Martin Luther King's quotes: "Injustice anywhere is a threat everywhere." Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about the things that matters. The time is always right to do what is right. But she asks herself, do people feel threatened even if they never experienced rape, poverty, bullying, or domestic violence as a child? Does it matter to people that children witness police brutality, receive no justice, and later become a victim? She bravely decides to hold in all her pain, wipe her tears, grab her red backpack, and attempts to face the world, counting down another successful day of surviving the school of miseducation. But is she really surviving? That is the end of the intro, before going into the other different sections of the book. And for the most part, the intro gives you pretty much everything about the book to let people know who have not read it. So just reading that intro in itself will give you the full idea of what to expect out the book. Now, of course, it's going to be a lot of surprises of what you don't understand, but it's going to make a whole lot more sense of a lot of the different things based on the introduction. So keep that in mind. And also, if you have any questions, concerns, anything you're curious about, again, go ahead and leave the messages, share your thoughts. Please keep in mind that we're referring to a culture and a young girl and where she was at during this time. And just understand that keeping an open mind makes it easier to understand and put yourself in this character's shoes, because that's ultimately the purpose as well. It's for you to be so connected to the book that you feel like you can feel every reaction of what this little girl is going through, that as if you're actually seeing everything she's saying. This is what the purpose is with this. So check it out. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and share that. And don't forget to connect with us and subscribe, because I will be bringing more to you. Thanks again. See you soon. Bye.